Welcome back. If you watched the last video, you already know things most people around you will never understand. You learned 10 laws that explain why certain people always win, why good, hard-working, honest people finish last, why the game is rigged, and exactly how it's rigged. Today we go deeper. Laws 11 to 20 are darker, more uncomfortable, more powerful. And if the last 10 made you rethink your past, these 10 are going to completely change how you move in your future. Before we start, if you haven't subscribed yet, do it right now, because what's coming after this video is even more powerful than what you're about to hear. Let's go. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. Let me ask you something honest. Is there anyone in your life, professionally, socially, anywhere, who genuinely cannot function without you? Not because they like you, not because they respect you, but because you provide something they simply cannot get anywhere else. If the answer is no, you have no real security. None. Because here's the brutal truth. The moment someone can replace you, they will. Maybe not today, maybe not this year, but eventually, when it becomes convenient enough, you're gone. The most secure people in any environment are not the most talented. They are the most irreplaceable. There's a difference. Talent can be hired. Skills can be taught. But the person who holds the relationships, the knowledge, the access, the specific combination of things that nobody else can replicate, that person cannot be removed without serious cost. So stop trying to be the best. Start trying to be the only one who does what you do, the way you do it. Make yourself the key, and make sure everyone who matters knows. Losing you means losing something they cannot get back. That is real security. Not a salary, not a title. Dependency. Law 12. Use selective honesty to disarm your opponents. This one surprises people, because most people think power means never showing weakness, never admitting anything, always projecting strength. Wrong. One well-timed, honest moment, one genuine admission, one unexpected vulnerability can completely disarm someone who is prepared to fight you. Think about it. You're ready for someone to be defensive. You're ready for them to argue. You're ready for them to push back. But then they say, "You know what? You're right. I got that wrong." And suddenly everything you prepared becomes useless, because you weren't ready for that. That's the power of selective honesty. Not constant vulnerability, not oversharing, not weakness. Strategic, carefully chosen moments of honesty that make people drop their guard completely, that make them trust you, that make them think, this person is real, this person is safe. And once their guard is down, you see everything. You understand exactly who they are and what they want. And that information is worth more than any argument you could have won. Use honesty like a scalpel. Precise, rare, devastatingly effective. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to self-interest, never to mercy. Here is one of the most practically useful laws in this entire list, and almost nobody uses it correctly. When you need something from someone, what do? You probably explain your situation. You tell them why you need it. You appeal to their kindness. You hope they care enough about you to help. Sometimes it works. Most of the time, it doesn't. Or it works once, and then people start avoiding you because you feel like a burden. Here's what actually works every single time. Figure out what they want.
what they need, what problem they have that helping you would also solve. And then frame your request entirely around that. Not, I need your help because I'm struggling, but I think this could benefit both of us. Here's how helping me gets you what you want. People are not cold. They genuinely want to help, but they have their own pressures, their own priorities, their own problems. When helping you aligns with solving their problems, they don't just help. They help enthusiastically. Stop asking for mercy. Start offering value. Every request you make should answer one question in the other person's mind before they even ask it. What's in this for me? Answer that question first. Everything else becomes easy. Law 14. Pose as a friend. Work as a spy. Before you react to that title, hear me out. This law is not about being fake. It's not about pretending to like people you don't. It's about understanding that information is power. And the most valuable information never comes from formal conversations. It comes from casual ones. When people are relaxed around you, when they see you as a friend, as safe, as someone who genuinely listens, they tell you things they would never say in a professional or formal context. They tell you what they're really worried about, what they actually want, who they're frustrated with, what keeps them up at night.
And all of that information, every single piece of it, tells you something about how to position yourself, how to be useful, how to stay ahead. The most connected people in any environment are not the ones with the biggest titles. They're the ones everyone talks to, the ones people feel comfortable around, the ones who listen more than they speak. Be that person, genuinely. Be curious about people. Be warm. Be someone people want to talk to. And pay attention to everything you hear. Not to use it against people, to understand them. Because understanding people, truly understanding what they want and fear, is the foundation of every form of influence that actually lasts. Law 15. Crush your enemy completely. Never leave them half defeated. This law sounds extreme. It is extreme, and it's one of the most ignored laws, with devastating consequences. Here's what happens when you defeat someone halfway. You embarrass them. You damage their position. You make them feel small and threatened. And then you stop, thinking it's over, thinking they'll accept the outcome, thinking mercy will be appreciated. It won't be. A wounded enemy is not a grateful enemy. They're a dangerous one. They have nothing left to lose. They have every reason to come back at you, and they will spend every resource they have rebuilding, specifically to destroy you. The most dangerous person in any conflict is not the strong opponent standing in front of you. It's the humiliated one you left standing behind you. So when conflict is unavoidable, when someone has genuinely declared themselves your enemy through their actions, finish it. Completely, decisively. Leave no room for them to rebuild and return. This doesn't mean physical harm. It means removing their ability to threaten you, their platform, their alliances, their credibility, their access to what they need to come after you. Half measures in conflict are worse than no measures at all. They cost you the peace without giving you the victory. When it must be done, do it completely, once, and then it's done. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. You know what happens when you're always there? People stop seeing you, not literally, but psychologically. When something is always present, always available, always accessible, the brain stops registering it as remarkable. It becomes wallpaper. You become wallpaper.
The person who is always at every meeting, always responds immediately, always shows up to everything, always makes themselves available, is the person everyone takes for granted, because their presence has no cost, no scarcity, no value. And then one day they're gone, and suddenly people realize, wait, where did they go? We need them. We miss them. That realization, that sudden awareness of absence, is worth more than years of constant presence. So disappear sometimes. Not dramatically, not as a punishment, genuinely. Invest that time in yourself, in building something, in becoming more valuable, and let your absence do the work that your presence never could. When you return, people will be genuinely glad to see you. Your presence will feel like an event, and events get treated very differently than wallpaper. Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Predictable people are manageable people. When someone can anticipate your every reaction, when they know exactly what you'll do if they push this button or pull that lever, they're not respecting you, they're managing you. And the moment someone is managing you, they are above you in the power dynamic, regardless of titles, regardless of position, regardless of anything else. The most psychologically powerful people are the ones nobody can fully predict. Not because they're erratic, not because they're unstable, but because they've deliberately broken the pattern of expected responses. They sometimes ignore attacks that everyone expected them to react to. They sometimes respond to small things with disproportionate seriousness. They sometimes laugh when others expect anger. They sometimes go silent when others expect explanation. Nobody can get a firm grip on them. And that inability to grip, that slight uncertainty about what this person might do next, keeps everyone slightly off balance. Slightly off balance people don't manipulate you. They watch you carefully. And being watched carefully is a form of respect. Break your patterns deliberately. Be consistent in your values, but unpredictable in your responses. Let people know who you are without ever fully knowing what you'll do next. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. This law catches a lot of people off guard, because after everything you've heard about protecting yourself, being selective, controlling information, you might think the answer is to wall yourself off completely. It isn't.
Isolation is not protection. It's slow death. Power does not live in fortresses. It lives in movement, in relationships, in the constant flow of information, influence, and connection that only happens when you are engaged with the world around you. When you isolate yourself, even with the best intentions, even for self-protection, you cut yourself off from the information you need to stay ahead. You lose your allies. You lose your read on what's happening. And the world moves on without you, often in directions that work against you while you're not watching. The powerful person is not the one hiding behind walls. They're the one at the center of everything, connected to everyone, aware of everything, moving through all of it with skill and intention. Stay engaged. Stay connected. Be selective about who you trust, but never stop being present in the environments where power actually moves. The fortress feels safe, but inside it, you are already losing. Law 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. This is the law that has destroyed more promising careers, more important relationships, more carefully built positions than almost anything else. Not because people are malicious, because they're careless. They treat everyone roughly the same. They say the same things to everyone,
They apply the same approach to every person in every situation. And one day they say the wrong thing to the wrong person, and everything they built starts crumbling, often before they even realize what happened. Here's what you need to understand. People are not equal in their responses to being slighted. Some people forgive quickly and move on. Some people wait years for the right moment. Some people appear to let things go and never do. Some people have far more power than their visible position suggests. The person you dismissed casually today might be the gatekeeper to something you desperately need next year. The person you spoke to carelessly in a meeting might be connected to the 3 people who decide your future. You cannot know everything about everyone, but you can pay attention. You can be consistently respectful to people whose power you don't yet fully understand. You can treat the unknown person with the same careful consideration you'd give the obviously powerful one. Because the truly dangerous people in any environment are rarely the ones wearing their power visibly. Know who you're dealing with. When you don't know, assume they matter more than they appear to. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. Stay above the game. The most sought-after person in any environment is never the one who has committed completely to one side. It's the one everyone is still trying to win over. When you commit fully to one person, one group, one side, you have given away your leverage completely. You are now predictable. You are now taken for granted by the side you committed to. And you are now permanently closed off from every other option. The powerful person stays independent, not cold, not disloyal, but genuinely uncommitted to any single interest at the expense of all others. They listen to everyone. They understand everyone's position. They let everyone believe they might be persuaded. And through that perpetual possibility, that lingering maybe, they remain the most valuable person in every room they enter. Because everyone is still trying to get them. And the person everyone is trying to get sets the terms of every relationship they're in. Don't be the person who chose a side early and got taken for granted by it. Be the person everyone is still pursuing. The person whose full commitment would mean something, precisely because it's never been given away cheaply. Stay independent. Stay above it. Let them compete for you. 20 laws. 20 pieces of a rule book that most people spend their entire lives playing against without ever knowing it exists. And here's what I want you to sit with for a moment. Every person who has ever made you feel small, overlooked, taken advantage of, they weren't luckier than you. They weren't smarter than you. They were just operating from a different understanding of how people actually work. Now you have that understanding, not as a weapon to hurt people, as a shield to protect yourself, as a map to navigate environments that were designed to confuse you, as a set of tools to build something real in a world that rewards those who understand it clearly. 20 laws mastered. 28 more to go. Laws 21 to 30 are coming in the next video, and I promise you, they go even deeper than anything you've heard today. Subscribe. Turn the bell on, because that video is going to hit different. And when it drops, you'll be ready for it. See you there.